Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today I'm going to be reacting to a new Casual Geographic video called Meet the World's Worst Roommate. Let's get it!
If you think your life sucks, be glad you're not this fish.
Ugh!
This fish has a parasite
Two of
called
them!
Exigua, but its real name is a tongue-eating louse. And that's because it'll enter the fish by climbing through the gills and crawling into its mouth. Then this parasite cuts all the blood vessels in the tongue until it shrivels up and dies. This parasite becomes the tongue. For as long as the host fish is alive, the tongue eater lives rent-free in its mouth, either feeding off of whatever the fish eats or straight up living off the blood of its host. Fish use their tongues to help them swallow food, but with its original tongue destroyed, the tongue eater helps keep the fish alive by bringing food down its throat. But honestly, that's the very least they can do. Now the messed up part is, if that parasite dies, then the fish will probably become a pack too, since it won't be able to eat and it'll starve to past tense.
Damn.
It's the only parasite that actually replaces one of the body parts of its host, and once it does, it's there for life, because the fish becomes dependent on it. Yeah, it's a toxic relationship.
It is.
To add insult to whatever the you want to call this, if the fish dies, the parasite can always move on by detaching itself from the stub of a tongue and swimming out the fish's mouth. Probably to find the next victim to leech off. Like Instagram models with child support. See you, Bernie Renner. So yeah, kind of a dick move. At least after this parasite blinds the shark by eating its cornea, it acts as a fishing lure which helps a Greenland shark catch more food. But the tongue eater hands the fish a disability only to end up as its crutch. Cause just like people, you don't need—
Bro, that's so disgusting. Ugh. What is that?
This is one of the nastiest things in the entire ocean. This is a hagfish, and its claim to fame is that if it feels in any way, it'll start releasing loads of slime. The idea is
I
that
know
if you
this.
try to eat at the end game
Yeah,
death on demon
I knew this
A
one.
motivated hagfish can fill a 5-gallon bucket full of slime in
Look at that.
minutes. Basically, it's like a— how do I say this without getting banned? It's like this, but in Spanish. I don't think I'm allowed to explain any further. It's honestly to the point where even
childish, bro.
with them, because the hagfish can produce so much slimy, gooey nonsense that it can actually clog the shark's gills and basically choke them.
Damn.
This is what happens when a car carrying—
Yeah, I've seen this image before.
Because hagfish slime themselves in fear, it shut down
crazy.
traffic on both sides for 3 hours, all while making the roads look like a humpback that just discovered whale hub. That's not even the worst thing about them, because I didn't tell you how this satanic waterworm eats. The hagfish will bury itself into a corpse and eat the rotting, decaying body that was probably laying there for days from the inside out. And as a scavenger with no jaws, the hagfish often enters the body through the softest spot, which is usually the back door exit. So the save as draft button is too small and you end up—
bro, it's ugly, bro.
Just come straight at me again. Oh, how intimidating is this? Yes!
That's a
so
snake.
There's a lot of people that didn't know we have snakes in the ocean.
I'm
not talking about your
big ones as well.
I'm talking about the venomous, toxic, kill you kind. Yeah, that did narrow it down. Nah, but sea snakes are an actual thing.
Damn, that's a good boy. That's pretty. That's cute, man.
No business. Because they have larger lungs than normal, some of them can hold their breath for 8 hours.
Damn.
You can clock in for a shift at work and still leave—
oh, that one's cool, bro.
That's because some of these snakes can absorb oxygen through their skin. Also, these snakes can dive up to 300 feet straight down, because of course they can. If you didn't already know that, this right here is probably the worst possible way to find out. And because that obviously just wasn't enough, some of the most venomous snakes on the planet are actually the ones in the ocean. This is an olive sea snake, and it's toxic enough to put 60 men the gods recently deleted. And then you have the black banded sea crate, whose venom is 10 times stronger than a cobra's. They're naturally shy though, so they won't attack you unless you honestly give them a reason. But you have the power to put an entire family—
damn, she's super pretty, bro. Snakes are so cool, bro.
An optical illusion that makes it look like it's facing the other direction and swimming backwards. Meaning, if you try to grab one and pick the wrong end, you can go from an is to a was expeditiously. But the biggest op of all is probably the Belcher's sea snake. They're not super dangerous because they rarely bite, and when they do, they don't release all their venom. That being said, because it's the most venomous snake in the ocean, they can put 100 men in coffins with one bite. Symptoms after getting bit include muscle pain, tongue swelling, convulsions, and eventually becoming a story on the 9 o'clock news. Now, I could be wrong, but that might have been the snake in this video. So yeah, this is proof that nature does not care about your feelings. This fish is the most
at all. The rockfish, bro. Honestly, stonefish. From nature.
Most animals have to choose, like you can have camouflage.
There you are, my boy. We've seen this in a previous video. There he is. Look at him. Snow leopards are sick, bro. Snow leopards are sick.
Right at you.
They're so cool.
Stand out, but only by being toxic like this frog.
Toxic frog, bro.
With gills and be both.
Rockfish.
Stonefish doesn't move.
Stonefish. Stop calling me rockfish, bro.
The bad news is, it's the most venomous fish on the planet with dorsal
ugly as well, bro.
Needles.
Ugly.
If you step on a stonefish, those spines will extend and penetrate through your skin, all while injecting you with a life-threatening venom.
It's making my feet crawl, bro. Then that's foul.
Guppy produces toxins that
damn.
Excruciating pain, swelling, tissue death, and everything death.
Okay,
the
now.
victim told ABC News that getting stung—
bro, why do we go to the oceans, man?
And again, if you don't get medical attention fast enough, 60 minutes won't just be a
That
shot.
lives there, you
It'll
know.
be your expiration date.
Jesus
Scientifically
Christ.
speaking, that's a dick move.
It
You
is.
see, most poisonous and venomous animals have the decency to at least warn you before they airdrop
True.
your God's inbox. This octopus will flash its blue rings, and the dart frog's bright colors
So
will warn
cool.
the jungle
Blue ring
senses that
octopus.
touching it means touching the heaven gates. But like a true menace, a stonefish doesn't give a
Bro, look
warning
at that.
until
Where
it's
is he?
deep in your foot. Fun fact, there's 4 of them in this picture.
Damn!
Oh, and because Australia lives on veteran difficulty, the stonefish can survive out of water for up to 24 hours.
Of course he can.
Also, its venom lowers
Australia,
the white
bro.
meaning you can catch an infection. even
You
if
might
it's
need help down under,
all
bro.
that from a fish that looks like a rock. It's like if stop signs were made in Braille. It's like a red flag,
True.
but you're colorblind. Because in Australia,
Damn.
mistaking a stonefish for the first part of its name can get you put under a stone. This fish and whoever made it. Are we really just gonna ignore the fact that killer whales give sharks PTSD? Welcome to Animal Logic. Let's talk about it. Orcas are the most disrespectful animal on the planet.
They
That's
are,
exactly
bro.
what happens
They
when
don't
orcas
care.
attack you. Other than humans, the only thing that can take on an orca and win is a bigger orca. Because
True.
at the top of the food chain, orcas bully the entire underwater census and they legitimately traumatize great white sharks. If Jaws happens to encounter an orca near their hunting grounds, they'll abandon the area for up to a year. And for good
Yep.
reason. Orcas actually figured out that if they flip over sharks, they can induce tonic immobility, paralyzing the shark while the Bundy dolphins take its
And they only
apart.
eat their
This
livers,
probably
which is
life
interesting
too.
as well.
Killer whales have been seen punching seals
Look
up
at
to 80 feet in the air just like a
Bro!
field. Researchers believe they do this to either paralyze the seal or loosen its skin. But there's always that chance that these psychopaths do this because they find joy in putting a seal in the clouds.
Yep.
They're also intelligent enough to work together to create a wave that's so powerful that it knocks the seal completely off the ice.
True as well.
Just when he thinks he's safe on the beach, Steroid Flipper reminds him it's an orca's world and he just lives in it. And even though they're
Yep.
built like an 8 to 12,000 pound equality symbol, they can launch themselves up to 15 feet in the air.
Damn.
Really bad news if you're a bottlenose
Look
in
at
the wrong
that.
place. And they slap stingrays. Just
They
because
do.
can.
Just
This
'cause they can.
sociopath is the most oppressive force in the entire
Sea
world.
Oreos,
Though
bro.
wild orcas have caused a
Sociopaths,
human
bro.
obituary,
Menaces.
some have started ramming into sailing boats off the coast of Spain and Portugal, damaging
Yeah.
the boats and injuring the crew.
True.
Considering orcas are one of the most intelligent creatures on the planet, there was 100% malicious intent. And because this ocean Oreo has a range of almost everywhere, a grocery list of almost everything, and their weaknesses only exist in fiction, the homicidal sea
They are still doing that here in Portugal, man, in the coast. It's a big problem because there's this specific pod that comes around and attacks just attacks the boats. The people fall in the water and they don't touch the people at all. They don't attack them. They just attack the boats and they sink the boats, which is really telling. Like, it's basically telling us, leave us alone, man. These things are noisy as hell, and you are coming into our house, bro. Leave us alone, but we don't. So yeah, it's tough being an orca,
most
bro.
intelligent
It's tough.
creatures on the planet, there was 100% malicious intent. And because this ocean Oreo has a range of almost everywhere,
They are
there
so
was
smart as well,
everything,
bro.
Their weaknesses only exist in fiction. The homicidal sea panda.
It's one of those animals that I think we are not smart enough to understand them yet, but just like elephants and dolphins, bro.
50, 60, some
I'm
even
convinced
80
so.
years, but the female will stop being able to have kids at around 30 to 40.
Damn.
Normally, shutting down the baby factory that early would be bad, but the female orcas that can't have kids anymore will then focus on raising their kids' kids. These
Yep,
grandmother orcas
true.
will leave their pod, using their decades of experience to teach all the younger ones the best places to find food. And in true grandmother fashion, the killer whales that grow up around this granny orca have a better chance of surviving and having kids of their own.
Damn.
The oldest orca was allegedly as old as the Titanic.
Wow.
They could even end up raising their great-grandchildren. By being that old head that we all need in our lives, the grandma sea panda makes sure that her genes keep getting passed down to the next generation by looking after her grandchildren.
Nice.
This grandmother effect is because female orcas that don't have their own children to worry about have more time to focus on teaching and looking after their grandkids. Moral of this video. Orcas are homicidal equality symbols that are the biggest bullies in the ocean.
They are.
But they're also the biggest grandmama's boys on the planet. And that is
True.
the most wholesome thing I can ever say about them.
Yep.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever gotten mad about, but I'm making this video because if I have to have this argument one more time, I'm gonna lose whatever's left of my mind. Squidward is not a squid. He's an octopus. Don't comment yet, I know you're gonna say it. Octopus have 8 tentacles and this punching bag with a nose has 6. That's literally only because they thought it'd be easier to animate him that way. Also, if
maybe.
he were a squid, he'd have 2 longer feeding tentacles that he'd have to drag around everywhere. Also, octopus have round bulbousy heads and squids have triangle-shaped domes. In case you don't believe me, because I know some of you won't, the literal creator of the show said it. You don't gotta listen to me, but I wish you
Why
would.
did you call him Squidward then?
That he's wrong. I mean, you can't now, but damn. In case you're wondering why his name is Squidward, well, Octoword just sounds stupid. You know what, since we're
Yeah,
on the
that's
subject,
actually
some
true.
male octopus pack their, baby making equipment on their mantle near their head, and it's called the hectocotylus. So yeah, 2 things. That might not be a nose, and there's a reason bro never wears pants.
Damn. That's interesting.
That is an Australian giant cuttlefish. Normally having Australian and giant in your name means you're a menace to society, but they're
Bro,
actually
that's
pretty chill.
humongous.
It's cephalopod, meaning it's basically the little brother of octopus and squid. Cuttlefish have W-shaped pupils to balance out uneven levels of light where they live. And they can see forms of light that are pretty much invisible to us. So in an experiment, scientists put 3D glasses on cuttlefish, and it turns out they use depth perception just like us. Something about this just makes me happy. Cuttlefish can also change colors and patterns in seconds, and as breathing kaleidoscopes, they'll use this to hypnotize crabs before they retire them from life. But they can also use this color change to hide to avoid being put on the shirt themselves. Seriously, he's in there somewhere. Also, since the males are bigger than the females, some of the smaller males will pretend to be females. By changing his skin pattern and hiding the special arm that only the males have, this cross-dresser sneaks past the other guys and then plants his seed in the female when the others aren't looking.
Wow.
Yeah, they're really smart. How smart, you ask? Well, it turns out they're smart enough to pass a snack test. Y'all remember that TikTok trend where they would put a snack in front of a little kid and then tell them not to eat it so they could get a better snack? Well, it turns out cuttlefish can be trained to have self-control. The best ones would resist eating it right in front of them for almost 3 minutes, as long as it meant they got a better treat in return. Moral of this video, cuttlefish are really freaking cool.
Once again, Casual Geographic staying the GOAT, man. Another incredible video. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, man. Phenomenal video again by Casual Geographic. The boy does not miss. Hope you guys had a great weekend, man. And I hope you are ready to attack the new week. And just remember, if you just start off the week with positivity in your mind, and I'm sure it'll be 10 times better that if you started with negativity. So yeah, man, go after your dreams, man. Never look back. And you already know the deal, man. Keep God first as always. Drink water, but tell somebody. Alright, if you're here, you know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.
I've been through this, been through that, reminiscing on my past. I found bliss in the way that I carry on my back. Let my soul sing my song. It goes, ooh, na 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 na.